Welcome everyone to the Film Vault for this special. Is this a standalone Flickfession? What are you doing with this? I don't know if you're going to tie it to a best of. I don't know what you're going to do with this. I just know we're going to Flickfest the shit out of some films.
Yeah, we have a... This is how the show works. Bye-bye. Each week we do a Flickfessions episode.
Right.
And then we also do a top 5 episode each week.
I understand.
This is the Flickfessions episode.
I understand. I'm saying, what will it be tied to?
No, it's a Flickfession standalone episode.
Okay. So it's tied to nothing?
No, I mean it's a standalone episode. Okay. Now, if you're the way it's been going on for a couple of years now, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you will get the next episode tied to this one, I guess. It'll be one big long episode with a top 5 of something else.
Okay.
But no, this is just a regular Flickfessions episode.
What's the top 5?
Oh, I didn't show the picture of the dick and Atticus.
You know what I didn't show either was here, cut to me, was this nice mug by Bryan Draws. Bryan Draws things. Bryan Draws. I was given a mug and I didn't show it, so there it is. Thanks, Bryan.
Yes, that's okay. Great start to the episode. Yeah, Bryan Draws Movies is what.
Bryan Draws Movies. Thank you.
Where'd my book go? I
got a book here.
Yeah. Show the book. The book's more important. But Bryan Draws Movies was nice enough to send us something. But this guy's a listener. All right. You could say his name. I mean, that'd be nice. That was the last episode.
Well, it's the illustrator, right? Marcus Coulter?
Yes.
Marcus Cutler.
Okay, terrible start to the episode. I'd almost like to
disagree.
Start over. The movies that I will be talking about today are great little finds, and I highly recommend both, and I'm excited to share them with you guys, and maybe Avery can help us out and let people know where they might be able to find them. There are 2 movies that came out this year, 2 movies that I've been meaning to catch up with, and 2 movies I'm very happy that I did.
Okay, good.
Very happy.
I have 3 films that are big, sexy names in theaters now, and or at least they are. I was recording this, and I remember vaguely the listener, I think it was on our Reddit, posted a topic that was along the lines of they don't like when we line up on too many movies. You're in luck.
Yeah.
You're lining up on nothing.
Yeah, but I think most people do like it when we line up. Yeah. You can't keep everyone happy, right? There's always going to be someone who's upset.
Bitch.
Mm-hmm. So, let's get right into it. We don't have any fanfiction this week. This is kind of an impromptu decision to do this, and where I come from right now it is 5:30 in the morning. By the time we end, it'll probably be 6:30 in the morning, and I have no idea how I'm still awake, and I got to drive home.
It's impressive. And you're drinking a beer.
And I'm drinking a beer to keep awake.
This is great.
Yeah.
You guys, apologies. Well, apologies, I guess, in advance because we are ironing things out schedule-wise. Anderson is just back from his international trip. I am just back from the brink of death, and we will get together, iron this shit out, and by the new year, hit the ground running with seamless episodes.
It's funny because I'm in Columbus next week for a gig for 3.5 days. And the day I get back is the day that Bryan leaves a week, and then he's gone again. But we're going to get together again 2 more times before the year is over. And, the normal feed will be there for everybody.
Yeah, it should be fairly seamless. It won't be as much scrambling as when Bryan tried to depart this mortal realm.
I did.
Yeah. But the last couple months, or, halfway through this month now, and I
was like the weasel and Roger Rabbit grabbing out my soul.
I don't get it.
It's a visual joke. About a classic film.
Not a classic film.
That's right. Roger Rabbit's a classic, I think, of this
Top 5 twist.
Love it.
All right. So you want to get into it? Let's talk movie. I'm very curious to hear your takes and hear a little bit about these movies that are out now that people will be talking about. Award season and whatnot as well.
Hopefully you'll see all of these and we'll get a chance to actually line up and talk about them. Where do you want to go first? Who want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. Would you rather hear about She Said? Would you rather hear about The Fabelmans? Or would you rather hear about Glass Onion?
Why don't we do Fablemans? Because you know what? Movies are like dreams.
The Fablemans, the 2022 film, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Gabriel LaBelle. He plays Sammy Fableman, the main character. Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, Judd Hirsch, Sofia Coppola, and Julie Butters are in this film. This is the one, Anderson, I'm actually most excited for you to see, not just because it's a good movie and it's quality and everything, but I am torn on this movie, and I would like to hear where you come down on this. 91% of Rotten Tomatoes. It's in theaters now. This is the winner of the People's Choice Award at the Toronto International Film Festival. TIFF. I normally wouldn't mention that, but I found it odd because not once during my viewing of this movie did I ever think, wow, this is a real crowd pleaser. People are really going to enjoy this. Like, it's much more likely to alienate people who love Spielberg films. It's esoteric. It lacks a driving narrative. It's very long. It's good. It's a very good movie. I don't know if you heard.
How's it good?
It's his most personal film.
I've heard something along those lines. How is it good?
Undeniably good. Mostly and mainly. So this is I would say it's more of a character study, which I don't know that Spielberg's ever done. This lacks, like I said, a strong driving narrative, which means it's a series of vignettes. And then I guess the final act is a little more about like Sammy Fableman and his high school life, high school journey, how he comes from nerd to sort of celebrated hero. And I imagine, didn't do enough research on this, but I imagine there is a lot of proxy for Spielberg's young life as well. Like, apparently the parents are modeled after his parents, and they are magnificent. Paul Dano and Michelle Williams. The main strength of this movie is the performances. The performances are magnificent. They're great. Even Seth Rogen is the like serious Seth Rogen. He's not the comic relief. Like, he's the serious Seth. And have you ever seen serious Seth Rogen? I guess maybe an Observer Report. I didn't see the movie though, so I don't know. But he's not jokey Seth.
That's serious and Observer Report.
I never saw the movies.
It's like serious Paul Blart, right?
Maybe 50-50.
Oh,
maybe that American Pickle or whatever.
Yeah, the American Pickle. I never saw that one.
I didn't either. I was curious too.
I just didn't carve out the 2 hours to watch it.
So the Fablemans is good.
Okay,
how many number of Oscars?
How many times during the movie do you think, spitball, give or take, what I become enraged? Because the trailer alone,
very few.
There's probably 7 times where I'm just like,
oh really?
Yeah. I've been mocking it for like a couple months now, Bri.
I think very few enraged moments. I could see you being bored quite a number of times during this movie. It meanders at times.
So that tells me that the characters,
I think,
might be some good acting, but like the driving force just isn't there. Like, I don't care. You don't care what's coming next for them.
The moments of levity and inspiration are few and far between. Like in the trailer, it's like this big moment where the mom gets a monkey. She comes home and she's like, Mom got a monkey.
That in the trailer. And
it's
I feel like I've seen this movie with the trailer.
That is 45 seconds of a 2-hour, 9-minute movie. You know what I mean? Like it's
but like the parts where it's like, movies are like dreams, and what was your favorite part? Like all that shit.
That's the beginning of the movie, and it's really in and out kind of quick. Like, they don't linger on that. Sammy Fableman, like, loves cameras, loves editing, just loves the process. Mm-hmm. And this is set in, like, 1960. No, it's actually, 50s and 60s. And he's coming of age. So I feel like Spielberg was so in love with this idea and so in love with these characters. And he looked at some of them as his sisters or his mom or his dad or his beloved.
Oh, this is a personal film?
I got the feeling it was pretty personal.
It's about Martin Scorsese's childhood.
That's right.
That would be interesting.
It's about Stanley Kubrick's childhood.
Listen, Spielberg, like his best work is the fantastical, right?
Of course.
And it's like the
bigger than life,
larger than life. Yeah, and I think that I get the sense that people have been kind of demanding this of him, and he's begrudgingly giving it to them. That's kind of the sense that I got.
I don't know, with like Schindler's List being the obvious one, but he's
that Bridge of Spies.
Yeah, he's delved into more small. Even Lincoln is a small story.
I mean, yeah, because it takes place over 3 days or something.
That's right.
Should not be called Lincoln.
The
Terminal.
That's right.
Oh, the guy.
Terminal
guy died. He's terminal.
That's right. Yeah. He was terminal.
Yeah, Gio let me know that he died, and he also let me know that Spielberg's the guy's he's a mensch. He's a salt of the earth. He is a very good guy, And I guess he was sending this terminal guy.
Well, you said it because he's your classmate.
He's my classmate. Also, he's just from all accounts and documentaries I've seen. I mean, the guy is great. I say it all the time. Like, he's capable of so much more than what we've seen, which sounds funny. But if you actually really take a look and you study and you love movies the way that I do, and you think about him as hard and as often as I do, like, he could have made so many more pictures that would have been liked by me, but he's more interested in the liked by everyone that very often I feel alienated, and I feel like this one might be the worst of all.
But I don't know. But it's not bad. Like you might be swept away with this movie. I doubt it. But I imagine some
The
people
fury
really
if you were swept away.
A lot, I know, but you know what? I kind of like those the most. Where it's a movie that I should hate, and I'm prepared to hate, and it just wins me over. I kind of love that. I kind of love when that happens.
It could be this. I might be selling it short. I liked it. I recognize that it's masterfully made.
Sounds like you have a hard time. You're having a hard time.
I had a hard time latching on.
Like figuring out why it's good. Now, we get in trouble for saying critic proof, but I feel like we can say that in this case. It kind of is. Like, who's gonna shit all over a spiely personal flick, right? With some great acting, great performances
from like some unknowns too. Like, I don't know who Gabriel Labelle is, but he was great.
All right. Well.
Yeah, acting, the performance is by far the strongest part of the film.
The Fabies.
Yep, Fablemans.
By Spieley.
That's right.
All right.
He's punchy. He's punchy, Avery.
Yeah, it's approaching 6 a.m. Oh my God, it's 3 minutes away from 6 a.m. for my time. All right, here we go. I saw a film. This is a movie that I was ashamed to report back that I had not seen when it was on my top 5 summer preview. There's still a few on there that I will get to, but The Innocents is no longer one that's in my blind spot. The Innocents is a film that I have seen.
As Avery asked, is this multiple innocent people, or is this the innocence as the concept of innocence?
Yeah. No, it's imagine an innocent person, and then they have another innocent person next to them, and then turns out there's around 4 of them. So this is written and directed by Eskil Vogt, who is from Oslo, Norway.
It's on Shudder.
And it's on Shudder. Okay, it deserves to be
AMC Plus.
Better places, but so The Innocence is about so there's 4 main characters. They're kids, right? And it's in I believe it's probably Oslo, somewhere in Scandinavia, and it's this little girl, and she's just moved. Her and her little sister Anna is the lead, and her little sister has moved with her and her parents, and Anna is probably 11, 12, 13 years old maybe, and she's got severe autism. Like, she's not high functioning. Right. She barely speaks. A lot of rocking, a lot of back and forth, and she's got the autism pretty good there. And her little sister is trying to find her way, and her little sister is probably 7 or 8. And she's in that age where she's not really sure what's right, what's wrong. So when she comes across this little boy in the new neighborhood, she goes along with him as he does naughty things to animals. And does naughty things.
Like what? Calls them bad names?
Like, one of the early scenes is they get a cat.
Okay.
And they are petting the cat, and they're having a good time with the cat. Oh, it's already been established that this kid that she meets in the town, and in her new little, it's pretty much the projects that they live in. He's got telekinesis, and he's got the ability to move things with his mind.
Great.
Okay. Not well, but he's capable
of can do it.
Moving them a little bit, right? And then they get a cat, and this is connected to his abilities, but they go to the top floor, and they're looking down the stairwell, which is probably around 8 stories or so, and fucking drop the cat, right? Very hard to watch. There are some things that are very hard to watch, but you got to know it's a fucking movie. It's not a documentary. They didn't actually kill this cat, okay? But she's watching this. She's not too sure what to make of it because she's like 7 or 8, right? And she's not sure. And she's got a sister who's at home, and then she takes it further. You can tell that she's teetering on like shittiness by noticing that her older sister Anna, who's got the autism, can't feel pain. At least she doesn't respond to them. So she'll pinch her really hard. right? Like in the backseat of the car when the parents aren't looking. And Anna's just rocking back and forth, gives her nothing. And then there's a scene where a glass breaks, and she puts the little sister puts Ida. She puts glass in her sister's shoe, and then Anna puts on the shoe, and she's walking around, no reaction.
I'm fascinated to see where this is going.
We know that she's walking around. I know that's what it's getting from you. This is happening, and now there's another little girl who lives in this same complex. So there's 4 kids now, right? There's the little naughty kid who likes to drop cats from buildings, who's got the ability to move things. There's this other little girl who's got a very interesting look where she's got like the blotchy like skin.
Okay.
So
psoriasis.
It's not psoriasis. It's like
vitiligo.
Vitiligo. That's yeah. Where like she's got like white patches on her face.
Pigmentation.
And stuff. Yeah. So that's how she's got a very particular look, and she feels the pain in the foot of Anna.
Oh.
And she knows, and now she's got a connection with Anna, so she also has this thing going on, right? And Ida, who's the main little girl, she's the pretty much the one whose shoes we're walking in. She has nothing. She doesn't have any power, no abilities. And the farther the story goes down, the more we see this kid, Ben, I believe his name is, being an absolute fuckhead and getting worse and worse and worse. Right. And he's got this real ego problem where if anyone says anything mean to him, he gets very upset.
Uses his powers.
But his powers are kind of weak.
Okay.
But they're getting stronger.
Oh, it's like Dane DeHaan in Chronicle.
It is very Chronicle. It is a subdued, subtle version of Chronicle. It's got scanners in there. It's got the Twilight Zone kid where he can remember the section of the Twilight Zone movie, whatever. It's got Firestarter, and it's definitely got Stephen King vibes all throughout this thing. Guys, I was watching this in a hotel room with my wife and child sleeping down below us in the loft. Both of them were very upset with me when I reacted, apparently very loudly, at a scene that I saw that just thinking about it right now is giving me chills, where something is revealed. And it happens fairly early on when you learn that Anna, who is the girl with the autism, the older sister, right. She's got some powers. She's got some powers. And with the ability to see inside of Anna's head and feel the pain that she is feeling through the other little girl with the vitiligo. We get to get inside of her mind and see because with autism, and if you've done any research or worked with them or seen any documentaries, you know that there's a whole world going on behind what we see as people who are just seeing them in the flesh. Like there's a lot of the time they're trapped inside there, and there's actually they're a lot like you and I. They just can't manifest it. So that is all explored, and this movie is so satisfying.
Bless you.
In so many ways, and just it's like a little mini masterpiece. I fucking loved The Innocents.
Where can this be seen?
Shudder and AMC Plus, I guess.
All right.
But it's definitely like I said, a smaller, more subtle version to Chronicle, but it says a lot of the same things, and it's very, very satisfying at times. I would have liked to see the construction a little differently. I mean, I think that it kind of peaked in the middle, and that could have been reworked for my liking anyways towards the end, where you get that big moment that made me react so much. But ultimately, it's a movie that I highly recommend. And if you're squeamish, you shouldn't be watching this one. That's probably why it's on Shudder. There is some stuff that's a little bit hard to watch. I mean, just the glass in the shoe, and obviously the cat. But
is there any hereditary in it?
Any parallels to it?
Yeah, with the little girl and that sort of.
Kind of, I guess, but not much. It's not one of the ones that I thought of for sure. Charlie doesn't really kind of come to mind while you're watching this. However, Charlie is. I mean, I'm gonna think of Anna forever. I'm gonna always remember Anna, who is the older sister with the abilities that we learn about fairly early. But yeah, it's really good. It's very good. The Innocents.
Shudder and AMC Plus. Check it out, you guys.
And a couple listeners let me know about The Innocents, and they were kind of Luke on it. So maybe I'm a little Maybe it's tapping into something with me that it doesn't tap into with everybody else. But I found a lot of enjoyment in this movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. The innocence, and what it says about childhood and humanity, and trying to find your way and trying to figure out good and bad, and not having the guidance to let you know. I mean, you definitely got the sense that the parents had so much going on with the daughter with special needs, that the little girl was kind of left to her own devices, trying to figure out the world. And as what happens, her peers started showing her what was up, and that might not be a good thing. So she's trying to figure it out on her own, and maybe going down the wrong road and then being swayed back the other. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
97% of Rotten Tomatoes with 111 reviews. So you're right there with
the RT.
Yeah,
Thank God.
That's right. So you're gonna show your face in public again.
But yeah.
Oh wait, this is a Norwegian film.
Yeah, there's
You have to read this shit.
a lot of reading. Yeah.
Oh, you almost had me, buddy.
Guys, there is a scene that happens that's so fucking satisfying, but it's right in the middle of the movie, and I feel like that could have been built to be, kind of happen towards the end. There's just some construction of this that didn't. Otherwise, it'd be like one of my all-time favorites. I think it's that.
Really?
If you move some pieces around and actually, a little bit of different execution, like so many of the working pieces are right there that I just.
So you're saying if it was a little better, you would have liked it more.
If it was a little bit better, I would have liked it more. No, I reserve that to movies that just aren't good. That's when I say that. This is very good. This is a solid 4. I mean, when there's a single scene that gets that kind of reaction out of me, even if the rest of the movie's shit, it's got a special place in my heart. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that it reduces this movie to one scene. It's much more than that, but it's a very good movie. Highly recommend. The Innocents.
I saw a film. Imagine it would be up for some Oscars, except I don't know how the Oscars are going to react to She Said. She Said, the 2022 film in theaters now. This is directed by Maria Schrader, a German director. As far as I can tell, this is their English language debut, which is a bit ironic for a film that is so incredibly dialogue heavy. Carey Mulligan, Zoe Kazdan, Patricia Clarkson, Andre Brower, Samantha Morden, Jenna Ely, and Ashley Judd as herself.
Oh, that's interesting.
87% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, this is in theaters now.
This is a comedy, right?
There's not a lot of
slapstick.
There's not a lot of levity. I guess some of the way that some of the players are portrayed are to chuckle. Based on the New York Times investigation into the Harvey Weinstein
Is he
allegations.
represented at all, or is he just by name?
Mostly off screen. You hear him a number of times.
Jonathan Lithgow.
What? No. You never see his face. Okay. You see him a couple times from behind when he's being deposed or when he's talking to a reporter. But most of the time, you are aware of him through recordings or through speakerphone. There's a lot of speakerphone, like, how dare you? I'm working on this problem. But, yeah.
Schrader's a actress for the most part as well. So I think that was a smart move to have somebody outside the U.S. studio system making this, and somebody who is an actress who has some perspective on it as well.
This is based, like I said, on the New York Times articles and the subsequent book that was published afterwards. Anderson, this is like a better Spotlight. I know you and I are below consensus on the movie Spotlight.
That's right.
This is a better version. It's a little less melodramatic. That said, let's put it this way. If 2 hours of victims recounting their assault and phone conversations sounds exciting to you, you are in for a fucking treat.
So all the people that love those 2 depositions, the 2-parter of Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, you're in for a treat because this is right up your alley. Otherwise, it is a challenge. This movie has horrific descriptions of assault throughout, start to finish almost. And like I said, most of this is there's face-to-face conversations, but I would estimate that 2/3 of the time, Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan are talking on their cell phones. I mean, it's the nature of they're the New York Times reporters. They're playing real people. This is how it happened. But this is asking a lot of a casual audience.
Here's a question.
What's that?
Does it pass the Bechdel test?
It's really offensive.
I mean, does it?
Are you asking seriously?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the dialogue. Oh wow, that's interesting. Okay, off the top of my head, it is 90+% female dialogue.
But are they talking about the men that assaulted them?
I see what you're saying. Are they talking about something other than a man?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? Because there's one scene where Carey Mulligan there's one scene where Carey Mulligan asks Zoe Kazan, her coworker, how's the baby? Yeah.
That's not
true.
no,
the baby's a boy.
Are you serious? Is that the one scene you can think of? Because there's that one clip on YouTube that I found. That one clip, but all of the moments where two women talk about something that's not a man in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it's one line. I don't know if that's accurate.
I'm imagining Tucker Carlson running with this segment of this doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
God damn.
I can't imagine that.
And the liberals want to talk down to us with she said. It doesn't even pass the Bechdel test. A woke test they made themselves.
For themselves.
Isn't that interesting?
It would be funny if it didn't pass it.
Why would they do that?
God, I hate his face so much. I hate him so much.
Just confused face all the time.
It's so hard to look at.
Why would they do that?
And knowing that it's on all like, I don't want to say it's an act, but on a certain level,
He's playing it up, of course.
So you should believe the movie, but not Harvey Weinstein, a man who gave women their careers.
Why didn't he get to appear in the film?
Now, it's been brought to my attention.
Did they even ask him?
That this, I mean, and it's not hard. You don't have to, look too hard to see the absurdity, the hypocrisy of this movie coming out of Hollywood and being about Hollywood's wrong. But I mean, Hollywood's a big place. There's a lot of storytellers, and like I said, I think that it was a smart decision. Whether I don't know if this is Maria Schrader's own project that she brought to the.
There's no possible way.
I think that
this was a book.
Yeah. So I think that this was produced and put together, not unlike a boy band, which is the way a lot of movies are made. And that's it. This is a story. I mean, what better way to tell it other than articles? Who fucking reads? Not me. So to expose the heinousness and to illustrate just exactly what happened. We all know, Harvey Weinstein beat off into a plant.
Can I tell you this? This is a story that needs to be told.
It is a story that needs to be told, and who's going to tell it if it's not going to be, in movie form? So.
I'm of course forgetting any number of scenes where women talk about other things. Although it's like Spotlight in the sense that the whole movie was about the Catholic Church investigation.
Yep.
This whole fucking movie is about Harvey Weinstein. So when Patricia Clarkson, who's like their editor, is just talking to them, she's talking to them about the story about Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
So there's almost no escaping. You know what I mean? Talking about a man.
Well, of course. That's why I asked the question. I thought it'd be funny.
No, it's actually a good question.
But all that said, I can't imagine this being a good watch or even really that much of an insightful watch, really.
It's a good movie. It's well acted.
How do you, here's a question, like, do you feel like you have a better idea of just the atrocities that he committed?
Sure.
I didn't know a lot.
I didn't know a lot about it before.
So it exposes like actually what it was, and it's not just like an idea now. It's like you actually have an idea, much better idea.
I would say allegedly, but he was convicted in a court of law. So yeah.
Yeah, because that's what happens a lot of times. These things get lost, and they say, "Oh yeah, he got he got dethroned for being naughty and this and that." But then when you see a movie like this, you actually read the article if you can read, you have a much better picture. So that's where this movie is probably important.
It's worth seeing. And especially, I mean, I can see a world where this is up for a couple of Oscars, screenplay specifically, and also an acting Oscar for either Carey Mulligan or Zoe Kazan. They're both fantastic. So maybe this will be on people's radar come award season. I'm just warning everyone, this is a very heavy, slow watch.
Do you think that in Harvey Weinstein's cell, he has like the old cliche tropey, they count the number of days that they're going to, but he does that with his number of Oscars.
Oh.
And if this wins an Oscar,
he counts it.
He might count it as something he's responsible for.
One more etch in the wall.
You think he might give an extra etch?
I don't know that he would be excited about this.
But I mean, he would feel responsible. Like this doesn't, like the Oscar doesn't happen without his.
At one point, Donald Trump appears by speakerphone
as the hero.
No, via speakerphone.
as the hero. He
No,
comes
they're wrapping up their investigation into Donald Trump and about to start their next story.
Oh, really?
At the beginning of the film.
I have found that movies that are based on New York Times articles are dull.
Well, the train continues running.
The Insider is another one.
Actually, I really like The Insider. I think it's actually really well directed.
All the President's Men, wasn't that another
Just
one?
made me want to
And
smoke.
that's the Washington Post, you son of a bitch.
That was good. That was good.
That bored the fuck out of me.
I just wanted to smoke all the way through.
Oh, wait.
The Insider.
You're
thinking of Inside Man, aren't you?
No, I'm thinking of The Insider.
Was
The Inside
Russell
Man.
Crowe running around?
I enjoyed that movie.
Russell Crowe going, smoke is bad. They're trying to cover it
I
up.
think it's really good.
Smoke is not good for you.
It's a true story.
They're trying to cover it.
Well, he
That
was
sounds
right.
great.
So fucking boring.
It's
so
It's a
boring.
Michael Mann movie. Back when Michael Mann's making good movies. The Spotlight was the Boston Globe, I'm pretty sure.
It was the Boston Globe. It was Tom McCarthy.
Sounds about right.
He did.
He of the King's Speech?
No. That's Hooper.
Shit.
No, McCarthy, he's an actor. He was in the 5th season of The Wire, and he directed Spotlight. And the same year, he did what's the Adam Sandler movie about cobbling shoes?
Oh, yeah, the
Shoe cobbler. The cobbler.
The cobbler.
He got an Oscar and a Razzie the same year.
Good
Man's
for him.
got range.
Good for him.
You need to blow off some steam with the cobbler.
He also did Mistakes Were Made. Timothy, what was it? What was it called? Oh, son of a bitch! Where his polar bear was his best friend. I really like that movie. There was supposed to be a number of them.
Timmy Danger or something?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank. It's one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies.
it's like Timmy Danger.
Timmy Failure. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes Were Made. You ever see that? Good stuff.
I didn't.
I have to watch that with a kid.
Timmy Failure.
All right.
Wait,
Timmy
were
Failure.
we assigned that?
I might have assigned it to
You might
you.
have
I really
assigned it
liked
to
it. I was excited about it because you never know what's going to happen with Tom McCarthy. What's coming out of that man's brain? All right. Here's a movie that I'm excited to talk to the two of you about and everyone who's listening if you'd like to hear about. After
Earth.
Yang. After Yang.
This is about Andrew Yang's failed presidential aspirations.
And what happened afterwards. No. It has nothing to do with any of it.
And the aftermath.
The aftermath thereof.
After Yang is directed by a man named Kogonada.
Fuck, I was going to watch this on the plane.
Were
Damn it.
Kogonada.
Should have watched it on the
Have
plane.
you seen Columbus?
I
No.
have.
Directed by Kogonada. He also directed Hands of Bresson and what's his, a video, so never mind that. And Pachinko. Columbus is the only thing that I've seen that he's done. As far
Starring
as
friend of the show, John Show.
that's right. And Columbus is a beautiful film, much like
The architecture is the co-star.
After Yang. Yes. So whereas Columbus leaves you with the idea of just how beautiful Columbus is, and this is just occurring to me as I talk to you, I'm going to be in Columbus next week, so that's cool. First time ever.
Was told, and so
Wasn't
Avery,
shot in Columbus?
can
Don't
you
tell me
look
that.
this up? It's not Columbus, Ohio. It's like Columbus, Indiana or something.
I saw the movie and I can't remember, but the architecture is beautiful and the shot composition is just
It is
something
quite lovely.
to
Striking.
withhold. Now with After Yang,
Columbus, Indiana. Yep.
Yeah.
it moves inside, and with After Yang, it's the not too distant future. We're moving inside to interior design. What he did with Columbus is with interior design, with composition, and with just amazing. You can't believe like the places that these people are living in the not too distant future. Where, or as you'd imagine that if we continue to go in the direction we're going, it's going to be everything sustainable. Everything is living and growing. Even like the cars that they drive.
Plant wall.
Plant wall, plant back seat, like the little area in the back seat, like above the headrests, like that's all like got growth in there.
Got it.
Get the sense that what they're driving in is supposed to be self-driven, yet they didn't quite have the budget to do a full pull back to see. So, but you just have to kind of go with it. But these locations are something to just bathe in. Really, I absolutely loved the look of this film. The story is about this AI sibling that they got for their sister. So I didn't even tell you who's in it. Colin Farrell is the lead. It's kind of his story, and he is married to an actress I had never seen before.
Really?
Yes, I'd not seen her before. Jodie Turner Smith.
Name sounds familiar.
Who is Jodie Turner Smith? What is she in? So, oh, she's Queen and Slim. So of course I've seen her. Yeah, she was Queen in Queen and Slim. Wow,
Yeah.
she was very, very different in this. Very different character. She's an actress. So
You're saying she's pretending to be someone else.
so they got it's not just in future, and everything is very like it's a modern family. It reminded me a little bit of Clive Barker when he came into Loveline. I felt like it was the most futuristic family I'd ever seen because he was there with his very large black boyfriend or husband, and they had I believe it was an Asian daughter, and similar makeup here with Colin Farrell and Jodie Turner-Smith were a couple, and Jodie Turner-Smith is black, and then they had an Asian daughter from Vietnam, I think she was from, or no, she was from China, of course, she was from China, and they somewhere along the line, well, of course, because they got Yang, who is this AI robot, like android, who looks just like a human because he's played by a human.
So far, this is AI.
It's a little bit like AI, but I mean, I don't think
It's
that
exactly
the teddy bear was a
teddy bear.
I don't think Teddy was a sibling. So they have this.
No, Haley Joel Osment was a sibling.
But the teddy bear was the AI
No.
thing as well.
What? So it was
I
a
fucking
toy.
hate that movie. I read the story and I put it on my mind. All right, let's not talk about AI. One of the biggest abominations ever created by mankind.
Kubrick's ending.
So early on, you get the sense that like this fucking movie, man. So it opens with them. The opening title sequence is this dance number that
Sweet.
they're all doing synchronized, right? All four of them. This modern family is doing. We don't even know that Yang is AI yet. This is during the opening title sequence, and then it's cutting to other people doing the same exact moves, and then you learn that this is like a futuristic video game that everyone can do, and then it's like Guitar Hero, and then if somebody gets up, then you get kicked off and you don't do so well, and they don't do it's breathtaking. Not since Nocturnal Animals have I seen an opening title sequence that is involving dancing that I've enjoyed so much. If you recall the very heavy women in John Ford's Nocturnal Animals, that
was difficult.
it was Nocturnal Animal.
No, it was
American
I thought it was Nocturnal Animals.
Animal. No, Nocturnal Animals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that
Nocturnal.
was,
All right, sorry.
I was confusing it with the.
Yeah, Nocturnal Animals.
It's 6:23 a.m. where I am. Sorry. So.
I almost died.
So you're just going like, what is
I had
this
a lovely
family?
Thanksgiving.
What is this? How does this family relate? What is this family?
See, we all win.
So turns out that Yang.
Well, mine is I fucked up because instead of watching this on the plane, I rewatched The Hobbit.
Oh God!
Well,
Why
you
would
love
do
you
that?
love them so much.
I hate
You love them so
the
much.
prequels. God damn it! I should have watched this.
It's all right. You can watch it. You can still watch. Where's this?
Yeah, but I can't unsee watching The Hobbit twice.
Twice. That's your own problem. That's only your problem. Where's After Yang? Because I got some more to say about it. So, so it turns out that in this not too distant future, techno sapiens is a thing, and techno sapiens are these AI, half human, half.
Showtime.
Oh, cool! It's on Showtime.
Like, can we rent it across all the big platforms? But yes, it's streaming on Showtime.
Or seen on an international flight.
That's right.
So Yang is a techno sapien, and he turns out that there's this synchronized dance Guitar Hero game of the future that they're going up against all these other families of four, and it's different color escapes. The music is great, and it's inspired. It's a very inspired opening title sequence. And if we were to do top 5 opening title sequences again, like this would be in the running. It's a lot of fun. And then they get kicked out, and you're confused. You're like off balance. You're like, what the fuck's going on? What is this family? Why are they dancing? And now why am I seeing like these smash cuts of all these other families dancing the exact same moves, but with different color in the background? And then
I've
you
never
learn
met someone so confused by dancing.
it's very confusing. I'm telling you. And then you realize, they got kicked out. They lost. They lost the game because Yang is malfunctioning, and he's still going, and now he's malfunctioning, and now the married couple and Colin Farrell and Jodie Smith have to figure out what to do with their broken techno sapien, and it's the dynamic between those two is fantastic as well, because she treats him like a lot of like sitcom wives treat their dumb husbands, like What'd you do? Where'd you buy this? And everything's so subtle, but there's a lot of funny moments. She's like, did you got him secondhand and you didn't get him from the actual? He's like, he's refurbished, but he's certified refurbished. And she's like, well, you have to go figure him out. You have to go because I am very busy. She's like a professional. I saw a lot of parallels in my own life.
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
And Colin Farrell sells tea. Like he's just obsessed with tea, and tea being like being able to. He talks about tea like you try and talk about wine.
Okay, that makes sense. Now.
He loves tea, and he actually almost makes me want to like kind of discover tea a little bit. But so he's now on a journey trying to fix Yang, and turns out Yang was created by this big giant company, Brothers and Sisters or something, I think it's called, and they are kind of like the modern day Apple, right?
Okay.
But futuristic. And there's all these laws that are in place that if your AI breaks down, if your technosapien breaks down, you're not allowed to go into the core and figure it out yourself.
Oh, really?
It's against the law. But there are
laws. Bring it to the Genius Bar?
Yeah. And there's all sorts of conspiracies. There's spyware in there. And so one thing leads to another. It kind of goes down a rabbit hole. It goes to one guy, and then he ends up going to another place, a curator at this museum that puts bodies on display. And obviously they just used that actual traveling, remember bodies? The traveling art
exhibit they're plastinated and all that.
Yeah, and it's there's gonna be a documentary about that if there isn't one already. It's just exposing how fucking wrong that was, because I mean, those were Chinese prisoners of war that they just
really? I never knew that.
Were
executed and let their bodies be used for art. Essentially,
Jesus
that's what bodies.
Christ.
And I went twice because it's fascinating. But the fact that millions of people went to bodies, and I think there's a lot. That's another story for another day. But so they're using those. They're using those bodies. So there's an art exhibit.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, seriously. I thought she said was a downer.
So ultimately, there's this scene where Colin Farrell's talking about how he's talking to Yang. There's a lot of flashbacks where we get to know Yang a little bit through the flashbacks, and it's very sad because he's trying to bring Yang back essentially, and his little daughter is just heartbroken that Yang is gone. And there's this great scene where flashback scene where Colin Farrell is explaining to Yang what made him get into tea, and essentially he's as far as I can tell, he's impersonating Werner Herzog. And I'm pretty sure there's no mistaking if you know Werner Herzog, and he's talking about he saw a documentary on a man who loved tea, and he was explaining that every step you take in a forest, and each damp leaf on the ground, and each step, and then you take everything, and that tea is that forest. And he was obviously doing Werner Herzog. Colin Farrell's just so fucking good, but he's so understated, and you forget how good he is until you're actually watching him. And he's got such range. He's so underrated. But it kind of comes. There's my favorite quote in the movie. And there's many of them. There's you know how people see movies and it's a lyrical poem and a meditation. Yeah, that is this in the best sense of the word and across the board. And I owe an apology to my buddy Greg Strzowski, who was trying to sell me on this movie months ago. And I said I will never see this. It sounds fucking god awful. But I'm wrong. I'm very wrong. So my favorite quote was there's nothing without there's no something without nothing, and that's something that comes from Yang. That's pretty good. They talk about the butterfly and the caterpillar, they're talking about afterlife, and to the caterpillar it's the end, but to everybody else it's the butterfly, this kind of shit, right? But it works because it's done in a way in this movie that it fits the tone. And so it's about ultimately it's about what it means to exist. It's grieving, it's memories, what memories are, what they mean, how true they are. It's about loss, love, death, design, and tea. And it's got a little ghost story.
It's everything.
And a little Terrence Malick, if story mattered, because there actually is a story behind this one.
All right.
And it's a little mini masterpiece. It's not going to be up for any major awards or anything, but this movie will be beloved by the right people.
Can I tell you something? You're waxing.
I know, because it's a movie that...
You're waxing.
He's plastinating.
The construction of the shots and the composition is it's one of those movies. It's just a beautiful movie, and a lot of the time beautiful movies are boring as fuck. And I feel like there's a couple moments it gets a little slow here and there, but for the most part, it's just a gorgeous, beautiful movie that's melancholy, and it's worth your time. I really, really like this.
All right.
It'll probably just miss being my top 10 of the year. It's like one of those number 11, number 12. It's really good.
All right. I'm
That's
into
it. That's it. That's
After Yang.
That's all I have to say about After
After
Yang.
Yang. I have one more film. Do you have any more films after this?
I could, but I'm not gonna.
Okay, great. I'll wrap up with Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, the 2022 film, written and directed by Ryan Johnson, starring Daniel Craig, Janelle Monáe, Edward Norton, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Kate Hudson, and Dave Bautista. 93% from Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
This is in theaters now. This hits Netflix in just a couple of weeks on 12/22. So be on the lookout for that, 12/22. This was the second runner-up, Anderson, for the People's Choice Award at this year's Toronto International Film Festival.
Second runner-up?
Yes, it finished behind the winner, which of course was
After Yang.
Fablemans.
Oh.
No, remember I was shocked that it won, and apparently something called Women Talking by Sarah Polley.
Oh, yeah. Sarah Polley.
So look for that. This I can envision very easily winning the People's Choice Award, or at least finishing third. This is a fun movie. It's an accessible movie. This is a bit of a crowd pleaser, much like the first Knives Out was. I was right in line with the tone of the first Knives Out. The only problem, and we should do a spoiler edition when you see this movie, because there's one. Avery, you seen this?
Yeah.
There's one reveal. There's a major reveal in the middle of the movie where you're like, that's where they're going. They're going all soap opera on us. This is where this movie's going. But it commits. It pulls it off.
Interesting, because I was actually kind of out until that point.
Oh,
because
really?
it almost felt poorly written to me until then.
Oh.
And then once it went there, I thought, oh, this is kind of genius.
Interesting. I had
It kind of made the, not poor writing, it was almost like the shallowness of it seemed deliberate.
I had the
and how he
opposite
had set it up?
experience, which is I was on board from the beginning. I was with it all the way. When the big reveal / twist happens halfway through the film, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's a choice.
Interesting.
But at the same time, the difference, not the difference, but the important distinction being, I was still with the movie. The movie didn't lose me. It was just, all right, I guess this is where we're going with this. Regardless. So this is and Avery and I were chatting off the air about this. This movie got lucky. This is a movie that got very fortunate. Because
more so than almost anything I can think of that's not a documentary.
Ed Norton plays a very Elon Musk type character, super famous, super wealthy, hail as a genius, even though there's little cracks in the armor here or there.
Yeah.
Remember when they're showing his handwritten notes at the beginning, and there's just nonsensical nonsense, except for the one that changed the world. And it's a little bit of a red herring in the sense that they never really explained what the big thing was. They just go like, oh yeah, I forget what it was called. It was called Monster or something.
Yeah, whatever they're.
Unobtainium.
Yeah. Essentially, they never really bothered to dwell on what it was or how it changed the world. It's just his thing. It's his Tesla. It's his PayPal.
Yeah, his
whatever
iPhone, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever that thing is. I can't imagine they anticipated Elon Musk would be in the news as much as he is right this moment. Not only that, in the news for maybe not being the infallible genius we all thought he was, which is kind of how the Ed Norton character plays out.
It's almost identical.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of wild watching it, because it is so...
What?
It's almost laughably relevant.
What happened with Elon Musk?
Elon Musk bought Twitter
Yeah,
and is driving it into the ground. Perhaps intentionally, perhaps not. But many of the decisions,
like he with the blue check marks, right? He decided to for $8 a month you can use your own blue check marks, and everybody went, "This is an insane idea." Because then, how do you know who's verified? So immediately, people started impersonating Eli Lilly, the drug company, and immediately went, "Oh, insulin is now free," and it tanked their stock and shit like that. And one thing,
many of the decisions he's making with Twitter feel ad hoc at best.
Yeah.
Like they're very much made, without a lot of forethought.
Insane. Like Nintendo USA tweeted out Luigi porn or something. it was just crazy stuff like that. And then Musk immediately walked it back.
It wasn't Nintendo USA. It was someone who signed up
I get it.
as Nintendo. They paid $8 for a check mark, and then here comes the porn.
Yeah, and it was that, but across the board with everybody, and all the advertisers are fleeing now, and Musk immediately was like, maybe we won't do that anymore. So
that's pretty great.
Everything feels very poorly thought out. So there's a lot of parallels to this Ed Norton character, who is a world famous, hailed as a genius, much like Elon Musk or a Steve Jobs, perhaps, but is in fact at best an average mind.
Yeah, and it seems a lot like the menu as you described it, where it's a lot of archetypes. It's it feels like White Lotus from whatever. Where it's just a lot of shitty archetypes that are fun to hate.
Yeah.
And all of the actors are having so much fun being these shitty, horrible people. And they're just really enjoyable to hate. And I thought the writing was really snappy. I thought it was really well put together.
Dialogue's good.
I wasn't in love with the first one. It went down pretty smooth, but I didn't really enjoy the
I think
mystery
I like
of
this
it all.
more.
Okay.
I like the first one more, but I think they're both very good.
It's not fair, but I'm watching it going, why can't he make another Looper?
I know. I had the same feeling, but this one almost elevated it to me because I thought it was so tight and well done.
And it's accessible everywhere, right? So,
yeah.
This?
Yeah.
I imagine
it's on Netflix, isn't it?
It's going to be.
It will be in a couple of weeks.
There's no reason not to see it.
Yeah, there's a fun movie, smart
There
movie.
is a reason for me, because I've been in Iceland, which doesn't have movie theaters,
Well,
except for the closed ones.
Yeah.
Except for the closed ones that are only showing north. So, yeah, it's not accessible to everyone, but I will see it.
It's so fun, and I love and Dave Bautista is basically just Joe Rogan. He's just playing a mashup of Joe Rogan and all the other sort of men's rights podcasters.
I know people on the right hated the first one, and
really?
yeah. I mean, it was.
I didn't know that.
This kind of more takes shots.
Yeah, no, because of all the shots that it
the
takes.
Rich people.
This kind of more. That was.
It's a very political leaning script.
That one felt more like it was taking shots at politics. This almost feels like it's just taking shots at just rich people.
Yeah, or trending people.
Yeah, because there's whoever's just in the public eye, because it's just a lot of really stupid rich people that they lampoon.
So it's like a parody of our times, almost.
Yeah, or it's almost like the rich people, neither one is liberal or is conservative. They're that because that's part of their character.
They're just TikTok stars.
I'm in.
This is a fun movie.
I'm in. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And I forget every time it's Daniel Craig. The accent, it takes me about 15 minutes to warm up to it.
In.
But then once I settle in, it doesn't feel like I just saw Daniel Craig at all.
What's The Glass Onion about?
They explain that pretty immediately.
Yeah, that is there's neither here nor there.
All right.
I mean, it's important to the plot.
Does it have any correlation or tongue-in-cheek to The Onion, the newspaper?
No.
No, there's a Beatles song called Glass Onion, which they play during the credits, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since.
And Ryan wrote this one as well, so...
yeah.
I know you're a Beatles fan. Where do you rank Glass Onion?
I actually...
Not really, the film vault.
I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
What? It's on the White Album. It's playing the credits of this movie.
You know, this is something that's going to upset you quite a bit.
Just trying to get this out.
The White Album, I've only heard it once. Remember, it was a big to-do like many, many years ago that the guy did a mashup.
Oh, yeah, Danger Mouse.
Yeah, Danger Mouse.
He did the Gray Album.
Yes.
Because it was Jay-Z's Black Album and Beatles' White Album.
Yeah.
I had that.
Genius. That's the only thing I've ever heard of the White
Album.
No,
it is
That's
not.
the only way I've ever heard the White Album.
No.
I listen to that a lot, too.
Well, the thing
sure,
is,
I've heard some songs here.
Commercials. Know what number, what songs.
Well, it was the same way you thought you'd never heard anything on Abbey Road. And had heard every single song.
Because I watch TV and there's commercials.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Beatles representation in commercials.
I like the White Album. A little overrated.
All right, I'm sorry I asked
Some
about
people
the title.
love it.
I love Abbey Road.
I think it's.
I feel like a basic bitch, but I do love Abbey Road.
Oh no, that's my favorite. That's a good pull right there. Everyone's either Sgt. Pepper or White Album. Fuck all those.
Guys, this is
Rubber
hard.
Soul.
This is hard for me being this behind on new releases. This is the farthest I've been behind on new releases in quite some time. So I'm happy at least I can bring some forgotten movies or movies that weren't quite as celebrated earlier in the year that
Passed
I
over.
absolutely really enjoy The Innocents and After Yang. But I'm feeling inadequate. I'm feeling like I'm letting you down, the listener down, the show down. Everyone's down. I'm
You
feeling
know you can make it up to us.
by seeing movies.
Seeing movies.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Whale will be seen by me this
All
time.
right.
By this time next week. The
Is
Whale.
that going wide, or you're gonna have to
Please,
dive in?
Avery.
I mean, I live in LA, so he was making a fat joke there.
Why?
Yeah.
With the wide, I get that.
Frasser? How do you?
Fraser. Like
Fraser.
Like a pew, pew,
Fraser.
pew.
All right.
Like, you gotta have the camera on yourself, don't you?
Well, Avery and you did that one, so I wanted Avery to be represented, and now I would love to have a two-shot of Avery and I, but we got to snuggle up, and I don't.
Me and Avery.
You want one of you and Ave?
I was correcting you.
It's being pedantic.
Oh, Bri.
Last Onion. It was fun.
I
I enjoyed it. It was very good.
Enjoyable.
I just heard
Snappy.
Both of you agreed. I like it. All right.
Could have used more Catherine Hahn. Always need more Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, she was kind of
She was just there.
wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
don't like that. That's the problem with ensemble cast. Sometimes people get a little bit buried.
Kate Hudson showed up to play.
Yeah,
was
Hudson
great.
had a lot of fun.
She had a lot of fun. She chewed up the scenery.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And Batista was a wonderful douche.
Yep.
But I think Norton, had the most to work with, which
He
makes
was
sense. To see
fantastic.
the biggest.
He topped the game.
All right, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah.
Missed that Ed Norton because last time I saw Ed Norton, he was just yelling "If."
You get plenty of it. Oh, when he's, this is not a reveal. When he's just playing Blackbird when they arrive on the island.
More
On the-
Beatles.
That's another.
yeah.
That's a White Album song.
Oh, what a douche. And of course, shitty Kate Hudson's character. She's like, that's my favorite song. Like, you have no idea what that song's about.
Fun.
Well, speaking of ensemble cast, we have this to look forward to next summer. Wes Anderson's new one. It's star-studded.
I will not be looking forward to
It's
this.
called Asteroid City.
Oh, great.
And it's a 1950s set. Asteroid City is described as
I hate it already.
Wait. Just wait.
There's more.
It's described as a poetic meditation on the meaning of life.
Don't do that.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Wes Anderson is going to give us a poetic meditation on the meaning of life.
All I heard was no plot.
It's Wes Anderson doing Terrence Malick.
Wow. Wow. Are there two more?
Do you think he's just
Different
trying to see
directors?
how many cameos he can get at this point?
Yeah, speaking of wasted,
he's just showing up to parties and then like holding his phone, like, "Hey, smile. Can you say what's the meaning of this?"
Can you play a guy who drinks a milkshake for 3 seconds?
I think Elizabeth Moss is maybe the best working actress we have today, and she was so goddamn wasted in that last movie that he made. I don't even know. Was it what was the
French-
last
The French Connection.
French
French
Connection.
Dispatch
French
Dispatch.
Dispatch.
Yeah.
of Kansas City or Ebbing, Missouri.
No, that is.
I know.
I was growling like.
Like
The
Benicio.
one thing that they had going was Benicio, and then they had him growl, and it's like, oh, you just lost everything. You just lost it all.
I would
with
argue
that
they had
growl.
more going in the sense that they had 50 recognizable film stars, but
Elizabeth Moss was maybe the most criminally wasted actor I've ever seen in a movie in that French Dispatch. She's just sitting there, like doing nothing.
wait till you see Glass Onion, and you're like, "Where's Catherine Hahn doing?" Not much.
Yeah, she's got
No,
expressions.
I'm joking. She's fine. She's good.
All right.
Could have used more, though.
Could use a lot more.
Janelle Monáe's great.
Everyone's good. Yeah, Janelle Monáe was great. She was really.
All right.
They're asking a lot of her.
Yeah.
Next week, Tar will be discussed by me. Tar. Lydia Tar, that is. She's a titular character. Right. Kate Blanchett.
Super
Which,
duper.
if she is not up for Best Actress, there's something.
There's no justice.
This is the one with
It's Todd
Redmayne, is it?
Todd Field. No, this is the one.
No,
where
that's
she
Chastain, never
plays
mind.
she learned German. She learned German.
It's commitment.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny because in watching Tar, this little pre-fliction, little quick aside. The opening scene is she's giving an interview in front of somebody. She plays a conductor, a world-renowned conductor, and she's giving an interview on a stage and with this like British bloke, and she's so stiff, and I'm like, this is what I had to watch for the next 3 hours. It's 2 hours 40 minutes. Todd Field directed, and it's so funny how this happens in so many movies. Great performances because she's so different. I think that I didn't. It was still Kate Blanchett, and I saw Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett doing something that's not Kate, even though she's got wide range and we've seen her. She's just one of the best. But then you get to know the character and like, okay, so and then you go back and watch that original scene again, and it's like, okay, now it fits together. But yeah, this is probably maybe the best performance I've seen all year. So we'll be talking about Tar next week. We'll be talking about Whale, which is maybe the best 2 performances I've seen by one person.
Sweet. Oh, because he's so big.
Yeah, that's a fat joke there. And what else will we see? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Real quick, going back to Glass Onion, what was the black dude from? Has he been in other projects? I feel like he added almost nothing.
That's funny you mentioned
I forgot he was in it until just now.
That's funny you mentioned that. I did not. I was like, I recognize that dude, but I don't. And then apparently, according to my research,
Leslie Odom Jr.
Jr.
He added almost nothing.
I know. Well,
He was Aaron Burr and Hamilton.
I mean, he was necessary
for the plot, yeah.
but that was kind of it. It felt that way.
Yeah, he wasn't an interesting character beyond that.
So 2 wasted people in this movie.
No, come to think of it, Catherine Hahn.
She had a couple of moments.
She had a couple of moments.
Ethan Hawke.
He has a cameo.
That was fun.
Don't ruin that.
The assistant was kind of wasted, and she's
Kareem.
great.
Kareem.
The Kate Hudson's assistant. She's a great actress.
Oh, the Asian girl. Yeah, she was good.
Ooh, Noah Sagan's back. Love it.
I stop talking about it.
Looper.
Scene.
He was very evil in Looper. Noah Sagan. That Noah Sagan. This guy.
Oh, was he Kid Blue?
Oh, Madeline Klein. A vision. A vision. She's the...
the girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous. Jesus Christ.
All right, let's get out of here before we...
Pretty cool.
I got no notes, so...
I sent you notes.
For this episode?
Yeah. I could have sworn I did.
I only got...
I just got him, I think.
It was just to you? Okay, let me send
well,
it
you
to
two take over. I'm fucking tired.
Oh, yeah, it's only... wait, hold on. 6:47 a.m. where I'm from.
Good, it's been wide awake. Sun's coming up.
Featured artist. Thanks to the featured artist Smith and Whedon. Smith and Whedon, that's who we listen to right now. Social networks, if you'd like to reach out to us or find anything more Film Vault. AndersonandBryan.com is our website. Instagram is Anderson and Bryan. Facebook.com/The Film Vault. Twitter @The Film Vault.
No, because this is just the Flickfession.
YouTube.com, The Film Vault Podcast. I've been bad the last 3 episodes not pushing that YouTube, which more and more good stuff is coming on there as we do this because of Jordan Montgomery, good work that he's doing, as well as Eric Kath and Mitch Burns. Thank you very much, Mitch Burns, who's going above and beyond, taking over for Jordan Wolf in the last few weeks and moving
He's double
forward.
fisting.
Of course, Mike Cole, who rats me out every chance he gets. Check out Addie's Antiques, which is my wife and I's own little side project, which we have fun. And we actually went antiquing when we were in goddamn Copenhagen. And found, I don't like the term antiquing, but we went mid-century.
Wow.
She actually
cool,
bought
though.
a large Pyrex bowl while we were over there, and we
Nice.
got it back
You got it
safely.
home.
Yeah. Which is tough. And it's always scary because the thing's been around since 1950, and then we're going to fucking break it trying to, bring it home. Stupid.
I had to wear a fringe leather jacket on a 12-hour international flight because I couldn't pack it.
Wow.
But what'd you do with it when you got home? You continued to wear it?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I thought you were embarrassed for wearing it on the plane. And I was like, well, why are you getting it home
It was
then?
absurd to wear on a flight.
That's
Everybody
true.
else is in pajamas having a 1970s antique fringe leather jacket.
You got to wear that to the next show.
Watching The Hobbit.
That's pretty solid.
You're that
I
guy.
look like a psycho.
You're that fucking
I was
guy.
that fucking guy.
Speaking of Avery and being that guy, Invade the Decade is Avery's podcast, which I dipped into a little bit when I was in Iceland, just because I was missing Avery and I was missing my friends. So it's always nice to be able to dip in. Very good work that he does on that show. Very interesting show, and gives you a nice little peek into yesteryear. Patreon, top 5 non-new movies of 2021. What is this? Is this old? Am I supposed to be
Yeah.
reading this?
No, I think we're past the...
Yeah, that's very old. Yeah,
Well,
that's,
Patreon's a good one this month, though. We got the listeners telling us what they, right?
Oh, yeah. Our Patreon bonus episode is a first in Film Vault history, probably a last, too, where we set it up for Thanksgiving, for the Thanksgiving month of November, to have the listeners thank us with top 10 movies that they wouldn't have seen without the Film Vault's nudging or revealing to them the movie exists, or saying you should check out this
Top
movie.
5 movies they discovered via the film.
I think we did top 10 actually.
Oh,
So yeah,
great.
that's what we're going to be recording that tomorrow, Brian, as we record
Love
this.
it.
But
Love
that's
it.
going to be a good one as a thank you to us. And return thank you to our listeners. And is that it? Am I missing it?
You tell me.
Here? I don't know.
Think
Brian,
that's it.
You got any dates? This is
Yeah,
This will be
13th.
after.
yeah.
Fuck it.
And I guess
next
that's it. Until next time, we do it. Oh wait, did I say Giovanni? Thanks to Giovanni. What
No.
Eric Kath? Eric Kath?
I said Eric Kath.
Okay.
We do it. I said Jomo. We do it. Upper Van Gogh.